ready to begin? All right, we'll begin the meeting of March 23rd with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, what do we got, Ellen? Because we did minutes on Monday, we did board committees on Monday.
Manifests.
We did manifests, all that.
Correct.
We
All
did
that will hold up.
assessing,
Yep.
So you want my report?
Yes, please.
Mine/John's.
Yes, please.
I'll recap. In your packets, you'll see information for the dugouts for the Marston Farm recreational area. The fundraising committee met back in February, and they've been trying to pull together the final pieces so the baseball and softball fields can be utilized in 2023. We're requesting use of the recreation impact fees, which are only to be used for Marston for the dugouts. The town currently has $34,139 in the recreation impact fees, and the fundraising committee would like consideration for around $21,000 of those funds to construct the 4 dugouts at Marston. So the plans are attached, along with a number breakdown. They've added in, John has added in the concrete pads and roughly what benches would cost to that number. Fencing piece in the mock-ups is already there, so that isn't included in the cost. The NYA is going to purchase the bases for both fields, and we're hoping to get the dugouts installed with the help of volunteers on or around April 15th on the community cleanup day. So the question is will the board approve the use of the recreation impact fees in the amount of $21,000 for the dugouts?
So if I could just add to that, so my husband and one of the young guys who works for him have done the drawings and the plans for those dugouts. And Tim Breo, who is here tonight, is working with Lowe's to get discount on the materials needed. So there's been free time and energy put into these, and there's a move to get the materials as cheaply as possible. So just wanted to let you guys know that what's also going on behind the request for that money.
Well, then, since we don't know a budget of what they're getting,
Well, we do. We have the estimated list of what's needed for materials. So he.
cost.
Yeah, so Tim has a list of the materials and is going to go to Lowe's to, see what we can get. I mean, there'll be some discount on it. It's not like we're gonna get it all free. And obviously, if it comes in less than that, they're only gonna use what is actually needed to come out of the, funds. That piece.
I'm good with it.
I just have one question. It was my understanding that any further work at the Marston property was gonna be funded privately and not through rec fees and tax money.
Well, I'm not sure where you get that impression, to be honest. The impact fees support recreation, and this is a legitimate use of taking the money out of the impact fees to support.
Is this layout here for, in this number for one particular dugout, so we're timesing this by 4?
Correct.
Yep. Yep, that's where the 20 came from, 21 came from.
On the spreadsheet with
Yep.
the blue insert, it's $51.76 per dugout is what's estimated, so just shy of 21.
And Ben, just to your point, there is an active fundraising committee that is working hard to make sure that we can get everything covered.
Right,
Get
but-
donations, sponsorships, yeah, all of that.
I'm just thinking back to when the town made that warrant article in regards to leveling the field and creating the field, it was my understanding that'd be the only time the town would put money into it, and the rest would be raised through, private funds.
Well, it was, you know, there was always a push for sponsorships and donations, which NYA and other individuals have worked tremendously at. Anytime anything is brought to the town, it's up to the voters to decide. Right, so another warrant article could be put forward, and if taxpayers don't want to support it, they can vote it down.
Okay.
What is Courtney's opinion on this?
I don't have that.
Courtney's
What did
opinion
Courtney
on-
have to
on
say
going
about the-
forward with
Well,
the
she's the one that
dugouts?
wrote this up, right?
Did she write this up? or-
Recommendation from Courtney.
It's
Okay, I
recommended.
just making sure, just,
I mean, there would never be anything that wasn't, that she
No.
wasn't in agreement with.
well, it's just cutting her fund.
She proposed it,
Two-thirds,
she
so-
proposed it.
So is that gonna cut into what she wants to do in here?
This can only be used for master, that 34,000 can only be used for master.
Right,
Because it's coming from developers.
And it's tied to the growth of youth sports in town, right?
Right.
So,
It's totally unrelated to the planning
Yeah.
here. 'Cause you can't use any of that money in
Yeah, because you can't do it for renovations, it has to be on new construction projects for what, how it's written,
correct.
for us, for use to spend the money.
And these dugouts are critical for us being able to actually start using the fields out there.
We have,
can't-
we have both nettings, when I drove by the other day, I only noticed one, I probably didn't look good enough, but
The fencing,
both fencing behind home plates are up, right?
yeah.
So it's not just one, I only noticed one. What about the sand for the fields? I mean, this seems like it's the last step to make this work. The sand for the,
I'm happy to get them scored. I'm not
I just haven't looked at it, it's been covered with snow, and I haven't seen the field, I haven't
Yeah.
seen anything, so.
The infield mix was put in like 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Every year, just like we do with the Foss Fields, we get volunteers and people donating the materials to redo all the infield mix. We'll have to do the same thing again this year, but without the dugouts, we can't safely play it.
I'm fine.
Tony, you're fine, I'm fine, John's fine, Ben?
No.
And your reasoning is?
Because, what I stated earlier is my impression that, after we had put the field in place, that all the funding would come from private donations going forward.
Do you need a formal vote?
If I could have one, please, for the record.
Okay.
I'll make a motion the select board approve the use of recreation impact fees in the amount of up to $21,000 for the dugouts at Marston Field.
A second.
Motion made by Tony Dumas, second by John Moran, roll call vote, please.
John Moore, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you still have to vote.
I, Ben Bartlett, nay.
John Moore, yes.
Donna Danus, yes.
I, Tony Dumas, yes.
Okay, next, we're having an issue with the use of clear bags at the transfer station. It's creating a conflict. Many are ignoring the requirement, and in the interest of reducing conflicts at the transfer station, will the board vote to remove the requirement for the clear bags? I think what we're going to do is try to allow clear bags, promote them. However, if it becomes a conflict between the transfer station staff and a resident, not be as stern with the rule.
In all honesty, I think we should just do away with it. These bags are not very good quality anyway. They fall apart and what have you, so, why put any more, stress on the employees up there and or, townspeople having to bring these type of bags to the recycling center?
Yeah, I would agree with that. The clear bags that I've been able to locate that, you know, fit a standard kitchen-size can, Yeah, you tie a knot, you pull it up and the bottom blows out and, you know, they're just garbage. The bags I use regularly, they're not clear, but they're translucent, like a milk jug, you can kinda see through it, right? And honestly, as long as you can see that there's no cans or bottles or whatever, you know, paint cans in there, that should be good enough, you know? And for what I've seen throwing my garbage down the hopper, most people are using a similar type of bag that's either semi-transparent or, yeah, I have seen some people throwing in the black contractor bags full of stuff, you know, that can be abused, but I think as long as it is at least translucent, I think that's good enough, you know? Because, you know, we've seen in the past, we've seen people drop off like some really hazardous stuff at the dump, or like that, whoever it was that left the asbestos in the swap shop, and then we had to pay Clean Harbors to clean all that up, you know what I mean? So it can be abused if we lift the rule, but taking that rule to the nth degree, it's just, it's not a sustainable thing to just challenge everybody on that, you know?
Particularly when we're short-staffed.
Yeah,
And this does come from a recommendation from Sean.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, there was a reason for the clear bags. So to deter people from throwing paint cans and stuff like that in the bags that people couldn't see, to hold, so people, when they were there, could be held accountable for what they were doing, as kind of a visual accountability. That's the purpose for it, so that we don't screw up our relationship with, you know, our disposal company that's taking it from us. Because they're expecting, you know, that to be household trash and not paint, not spray cans, not bleach bottles that are half full, or ammonia bottles, or.
Well, what's the typical household bag, 30-gallon? I can't imagine you wouldn't see a paint can inside of that protruding to the sides or something.
Those waist-high cans
Yeah.
that most people have, those are
Yeah.
14-gallon.
14, whatever, yeah.
So I think part of the issue here is, do we want to put the burden of enforcing that on the employees?
No, because it's not working, so.
Correct.
Why buy, I mean, obviously, right there's the reason to
Right.
ditch it.
So, I mean, like, your point is well taken, that if there's a big can or something like that in a black bag, you're probably gonna see it, but we don't wanna put that burden on the employees of,
It's gonna be basically, we're going back to the fact, which I have no problem with that, is asking the people of Nottingham that are using the dump, or recycling center, whatever, that you use it with the respect, you know, and do the right, proper thing when you're there,
yep,
and not abuse the leniency of the facility
An honor
Yeah.
system.
and the honor system. Now, I don't know, I mean, I'm really hoping that that would be, if 90% or 100% would actually, are going to adhere to that, you know? And one of the things is maybe our next board, we will take a look at the recycling trash disposal policy, since it was last written in 2009,
Oh, yeah. Needs to be updated.
that we go over this, because there's talks about fees, other basis, you know, no scrapping, residents must not go into containers, and we've already went over all this stuff, so.
well, that has changed.
Well, I mean, there's a lot that's changed in here.
Yeah.
So I
think-
think
I
this
think
is
that's a fair
a
point.
policy that needs to be put on a, future meeting agenda that we address.
So we in agreement, no clear bags?
Sure.
Not required,
Not required?
yeah.
Okay.
Do you need a motion?
Do we
Oh, sorry.
Do we wanna flip that around, and rather than saying you must use a clear bag, just say you can't use a completely opaque, like, contractor bag? And that we recommend the use of clear or translucent bags?
My only problem.
Again, you're putting it back on the employee to try to
Yeah,
enforce
I
something.
know, that's the only part of that I don't like.
What if we said something like clear bags are not mandatory at this time? Encouraged but not mandatory.
Clear bags aren't mandatory, but are preferred by the town of Nottingham.
Correct.
Preferred, yeah.
Encouraged, preferred, but not mandatory.
I like it.
And do you need a motion on that?
That in half anyways.
I think we're going to be updating the policy, so we'll just incorporate that, and we'll just
We'll just rewrite it. when we
do it
go
as a
to policies.
procedural thing for
Great,
now.
okay, thank you.
On my action item list, I'm going to skip over number 3 because I don't have any more information on the forester looking to improve the Class 6 road. So
Okay.
we'll just table that for now. Just an update on the state versus 3M, the subpoena for information. The attorney has filed an objection to the subpoena this past Tuesday on the basis that the town is a non-party in the suit. We're trying to put the onus of the responsibility of documentation on the state, so.
Is that what other towns are doing as well?
Yes, yep,
Was that, the guidance of the Attorney General?
correct.
Okay.
And then, let's see, Sean came in yesterday, he's located a utility truck at McVulcan, he submitted a letter of commitment to purchase pending budget approval, and they will hold the vehicle on that letter of commitment until April 5th. The quote came in for.
Where was this?
McMulkin? I think it's in Concord,
Croponi?
no, maybe it's not Concord.
It's,
Manchester?
no, it's Nashua, New Hampshire.
It's Nashua, okay. So it is through state bid,
Okay.
and the rough quote that he gave me was 75,000. I don't have the paper for him to give you. And lastly but not least, in recognition of your final meeting, even though we tricked you last week, or Monday rather. The town would like to award you with a plaque in recognition for your service to the people of Nottingham for Anthony Dumas for Budget Committee membership from 2013 to 2016, Board of Selectmen from 17 to 23, and Chairman of the Board of Selectmen from 19 and 20.
Thank you.
And Donna Dumas for Budget Committee membership.
Janice.
Danis.
Danis, I'm sorry.
We're not married.
We're not related, not related.
Budget Committee 2008 to 2014, Board of Selectmen from 2014 to 23, and she's been the chair from 16 to 19 and 22 and 23.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure, most of the time.
We gotta do this for Steve.
Again?
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure, what, 90% of the time, Tony?
Yeah.
All right, cool, thank you very much. Actually, it has been, it's been pleasurable and certainly enlightening, and
It has.
have learned a lot about the town, met a lot of great people in the town, and have enjoyed doing it.
I don't regret anything that I've experienced in the past 10+ years. I feel it's been a wonderful experience. I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, I've enjoyed working with Tony. We haven't, always been on the same side of things, as is true of all of us, but it's been a good working relationship. And I actually also believe that if you have a board where everybody agrees on everything, then that's not a great functioning board, because it means that you're not debating the issues and really thinking through them. So I have welcomed the challenges as much as the agreements. All right, what else you got?
All right, the rest I have is for non-public.
Okay, so at this time, we will be ending the public meeting. We'll be going into non-public, and having no further business at the end of non-public, we will be ending the meeting. So, thank you.
Ready for a motion?
Yes, please.
Make a motion, the select board enter non-public session per RSA 91-A:3, section 2A. Is it A?
Yes.
Yeah, 2A.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made by Tony Dumas, second by John Moran, roll call vote.
Aye, Ben Barlow.
Hi, John Moore.
I, Donna Danus.
Aye, Tony Dumas.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John.